What up, guys? Max Key here, aka the Blood Mage, bringing you a brand new YouTube video. And in today's video, I'm going to show you guys all the most consistent ways to make money in New World post-merge. So this is not going to be one of those videos that shows you, oh, right now make this because this is hot. No, this will be one of those videos that shows you consistent ways that'll be there probably for a while to make money, so you always have something to do daily to make some coin. That being said, let's get right into it. Alright guys, let's get into the best ways, consistent ways to make money on New World post-merge. So the first half of this video will be for like crafters, and the second half of the video will be for people who don't really have high crafting levels, so we all have a way to consistently make money. That being said, let's get into the crafting section. Alright, so one of the main things you want to do if you have like 200 Arcana or 200 Armoring, Engineering, any one of those skills with primarily the full set of clothing, trophies, food, you want to craft stuff for people, right? You want to advertise, oh, I'm crafting 595 or 600 mage weapons, come get your crafts. And I usually do it for free, I advertise it for free, and usually people tip, right? So basically, I get XP for Arcana. Now, obviously, you get levels above 200. You get those reward boxes. So it's good to, get that XP for free. But on top of that, you take the person's mats, especially if they're from your company or they're from your faction, so you get them better gear. You craft the item for them. And then, depending on what you give them, they give you a tip. So the lowest tip I ever got, not going to lie, somebody gave me a Cinnabar. Okay. The highest tip I ever got, I got like 2,000, 3,000 gold tip for crafting someone a legendary. So it really depends on the person you're trading and what you're making them. But for example, I made someone a Void Gauntlet and they tipped me 1,000 gold. So I basically get 1,000 gold in seconds. So that's one of the nicest and most fun ways to make money when you have 200 crafting in a certain skill. Alright guys, so another way to make money off your crafting, I call this the lazy method, because for this method you'll be selling your cooldowns. What does that mean? So if you have 200 smelting, 200 woodworking, 200 leatherworking, any of these refining skills, you could sell your 24-hour cooldown. So basically, you charge whatever price, someone gives you their legendary mats, you make them the Asmodeum, you trade it to them, and they give you a flat fee. So basically, I'll show you some examples right here of people doing it on my server. It should be pretty similar to yours post-merge. So basically, if you sell your Asmodeum, Phoenix Weave, Runic Leather, Glittering Ebony, all those cooldowns, you should make a couple of thousand gold a day, maybe like 3,000 gold, 4,000 gold a day, depending on the price ranges. So yeah, it's a pretty simple way to make passive money daily. But I call it the lazy method because we'll talk about it in a bit, but you can pretty much make more money crafting it for yourself depending on the mat. But yeah, that's a really easy way to make some money. All right, guys, so the next way is the non-lazy method of how to make money crafting. So right before we talked about selling your cooldowns. So for example, let's say the average price is like let's say 1.5k to sell your Asmodeum cooldown. So you'll make 1,500 gold and your Asmodeum goes on cooldown. But if you spend some more time, you will realize that calculate how much it actually costs to make Asmodeum. So if I search my auction house right here, Asmodeum right now costs 400 gold, right? So that's 400. What are the mats, right? We need 10 Tolvium, which is let's say 170, right? That's 170. Right, hey, this is also 170. Pretty sure we could say, whatever, we'll say 170, that's 340, right? 340, and then we just need orichalcum ingots. So 340, this is probably the most expensive one, 340. So let's just round this down to 1100, 1160, so that'll be 1,500 to make basically 10 Asmodeum if you don't have any of the smelter gear. Does that even exist? I don't know. So it costs you 1,500 gold to make it with the mats if you just buy them, but you make 10 Asmodeum. So if you sell 10 Asmodeum, you'll make 4k. So 4k minus 1.5, you'll make more money crafting Asmodeum for yourself and then selling it, right? But it doesn't always work with other mats. For example, like if you look at Phoenix Weave, right? Phoenix Week only costs 97 gold, right? So it might be better for you to sell your Phoenix Weave cooldown to somebody else, because the profit on this is pretty poopy, whereas the profit on Asmodeum is really a lot more. So another thing you could do to make even more money if you want to go the extremely non-lazy route is to actually make like the Orichalcum ingot, the Star Metal ingot. Those are pretty profitable, especially if you do it yourself. So that's why I call it the non-lazy method. Crafting those mats yourself will make you a lot of profit, but you can't be lazy. Alright guys, so another way to make a good amount of money is by crafting dungeon orbs. So you only need like 100 stone cutting for the Genesis orb, but you need 150 for the Lazarus orb. So Genesis and Lazarus pretty much cost the same price, at least on my server. But yeah, Genesis, you want to be crafting Genesis orbs, but how do you make money on this? This is not tradable. So basically what you do is you craft this orb. The way you craft it is obviously you need to do corruption portals. Pretty easy if you just run around the map, do the major portals, buy an Asmodeum chisel from your faction store. You will need 200 stone cutting to make a rune stone, but you can also buy it, so that'll lower your profit margin. And then you just craft the Genesis core with motes, right? But that being said, you make money by this by selling spots. So let me show you an example of someone actually buying spots on my server right there. So as you see, basically what you could do is you could either sell, let's say you have 3 people you're doing it with, like 3 of your friends or whatever. So you could sell an extra spot for the 4th person or like the 5th person for like 2k gold. So that boom, you just made 2k gold. Or if you want to get really extreme, like the example I showed, people are selling all their spots. Basically, you invite someone to a group, you go into the dungeon, and then you leave the group and they invite their friends. So they basically bought 5 spots and you don't do the dungeon at all. So that's a great way to make a lot of money if you're doing a lot of corruption portals and making a lot of, you know, Genesis or Lazarus orbs. Really good way to make money there. Alright guys, so the last thing you could craft to make some money is master repair kits. So you want at least 165 level armoring to do this. So you go to the armoring station and then you see this right here, master repair kits. So these don't make you that much money, but it's a slight extra income. Let's call it like an honorable mention, right? So basically, if you're crafting like I am, if you're going on elite runs, dungeon runs, you know, whatever, monster runs, you're gonna have like 2,000 repair parts like I have. I usually always have 2,000 repair parts. So if you're going on an elite run and you have 2,000 repair parts and you scrap all the stuff that you don't need, well, you're basically not getting any more repair parts. So what you could do, if you have the high enough armoring level, is before you go on an elite run, craft some master repair kits, because you could use any of your mods, because some of them, obviously, there's a lot of garbage mods out there. You could do that, and then you could craft, let's say 5 master repair kits right before you go on an elite run, right? And how much are these worth, right? So if you go to the store, not honey, store, master repair kits are around 55 plus gold. So you'll make a couple of 100 gold just like that before every like elite run or dungeon run, because you're going to scrap a lot of useless items, or crafting run if you're leveling your crafting some other skill, right? That's a good way to make some passive money on the side. Not the best way, but it's a way to generate some extra cash. All right, guys, now we're in the non-crafting part of this consistent best money-making guide. So if you're not a crafter, you have to work more for your money, but you have big ways to get it. Obviously, if you're a crafter, you can do this also, obviously. So the number one way, in my opinion, that requires the most luck is by getting the legendary trophy mats. So I thought with server merges, the demand for this would go down because maybe more people would have these items, but actually the opposite. It seems like people don't have enough of these legendary trophy mats, so they're worth more and more. On my server, you could sell some of them for like 40k, 50k. It's pretty insane. And I have a pretty good population on my server now. That being said, you have to be in a level 55 plus area to get from the supply stockpiles to get a legendary trophy mat. It's very rare, very, very rare to get, but you do get them. I've gotten only one legendary trophy mat, but I haven't done it in a while, but I got one, and that was pre-merge. I got like 5, 6 basic ones, so still pretty good money, right? And you do this every hour, right? Because the chest cooldowns are every hour, so it's something you could do whenever you're stopping doing dungeons, or you're done crafting, or you're done PvPing. You can just do this every hour, every 2 hours, whenever you have free time. It's like passive money if you get lucky. So you go to Restless, to Reekwater, and this is basically the path that I do. From the settlement, you run to Sunken Aspect. There's 2 chests here. Then you run to Mosswater. There's 3 chests here. You could check a map or a guide on exactly the exact spots. And then from there, you run to the Skyview Repost. There's like 5, 6 chests here. And then from here, you would run to this area. There's a few chests here, and then there's one final chest here. I don't do this part because I'm too lazy to run. This is like a pretty far place to run. I usually just go here, 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 then I log out if I want to go do something else, like at the end of the day or the start of the day, and then I come back to playing, and then I have more chests here, and I do it in reverse. That's basically how I do it. But yeah, it's a really good way to make money. Let's see if I get something right here. Watch. So you want these agent chests or supply stockpiles? Oh, we didn't get anything, but you want all the luck, and I'll show you how much these items are worth and on the shop. So now we're at the shop, right? And I just talked about getting those trophies. So look at the armor, look here. The precision armoring tools, the legendary version of the armoring tools for the armoring trophy. Look. Obviously, this is exaggerated, but like, there's so little and there's so high demand. This is crazy. I think it's not worth this much, but maybe someone will pay for it. Who knows if they're really desperate. Let's look at the one that I needed, Philosopher's Stones, right? There's probably none on the market. Okay, there's one. 30k. Honestly, that's pretty reasonable for my server. I paid 10k each pre-merge, but like I said, the price doubled. So I would say they're like 20k, 30k now. Maybe 15k. I don't know, like I don't know. Like it's price discovery. Everybody needs them, but there's not enough. So that's why trophies are very good to try to get every like hour or 2 hours when you have free time and do those trophy runs. Another money-making method, which is kind of more on the fun side, is to do Genesis and Lazarus dungeons. Pretty self-explanatory. Get someone who has the orb, or like make it yourself and not sell the slots. And you know, you fight all the bosses, you get a good amount of gold for doing the dungeon and killing each boss. You could potentially get best in slot loot depending on your expertise. Get some good craft mods, and, you know, just get good loot in general that you could possibly sell or scrap. And now you get a lot of timeless shards from doing dungeons and elite runs. So those timeless shards, especially if you get like a life staff, a fire staff, or something that's in the, or jewelry slots like the timeless ring, earrings, those are worth a good amount. So it's pretty beneficial to do dungeons as much as you can. And obviously the next way to make money is doing elite runs, which you should be doing daily with your company or your Zerg. PvP flag for more luck. Basically, the way my company does it, or server does it, is we start at Ebon Scale, do the Ebon Scale elites, go to Great Cleaves to do the Great Cleaves elites on this side, then go to Shatter Mountain, you know, do Scorched Mines, Murkguard, and then potentially do over here in Sirens and Eternal Pools. Do whatever you want, but basically you're going for timeless shards, expertise, refining materials. And I guess some of the rare stuff you get is, like, for example, an armorer's hat. I believe the armorer's hat drops from the final boss in the Scorched Mines, and I think one of the monsters that's pretty rare in Sirens. But like I said, there are some like gear pieces, like an armorer's hat, that on my server is selling for like 20k because it's kind of hard to get. But for the most part, I think the most consistent way to make money is by actually getting those timeless shards, which are pretty good for crafters, you know? So yeah, elite chest runs. Let's see what I get. Alright guys, so the last thing I'm gonna mention is wars, outpost rush, and invasions. Obviously, all these activities give you gold and give you chests and Azov, so it's a really fun activity to do PvE and PvP. But the only issue is an outpost rush. You have to queue up, and there has to be 40 people, or no, 32 people. But with server merges, you can do this pretty often now. You also get gypsum, so Outpost Rush is a great way to make money and become a better PvPer and also have fun. Wars, obviously, you have to get picked for a war. So if you're not a good PvPer, or maybe you are a good PvPer but you don't know the company, or you're not that known, then you won't get picked. But don't worry, on this channel I want to do more PvP and war tutorials. That's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm transitioning to being the best PvP blood mage on the server in the world. But anyway, and then lastly, for invasions, also you're not guaranteed to be in an invasion because they only pick 10 slots and then the rest are random. But regardless, those are really fun activities to do to make some extra money if you get selected. So those are all the methods that are consistent in how to make some extra gold in New World. If you have any more, leave it in the comments below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.